Hey y'all, it's Kelly from Under a Texas Sky, and I am coming to you live. I'm going to show you the same tutorial that I did for you yesterday, only today, I did the video yesterday and it was great. I was real excited about it, but then I posted it to Facebook. I tried to do a little bit of editing, and unfortunately I lost all but 3 seconds of the video. I don't know. I just feel like such an old lady when I'm doing technology. I hope that y'all can hear me. I can see your comments if you have any comments. What we're going to talk about today is using these really cool little waxes from Prima redesign. And there's a whole line of these called Alchemy, and they are, I'm watching myself here too. Okay, they are metallics. There's some opalescence. There is, let's see, Opal Magic, Antique Brilliance. They all have this really cool sheen to them, which I love. When they use theirs, when they're showing you how to use theirs, well, first of all, I hope everyone's doing well. I know that we've all been under this, most of us are under shelter in places. Some people are in lockdowns. We're in shelter in place. We can still go to the grocery store and stuff and get takeout if we want to, but I'm hoping that you guys are doing well and that life is being good to you. You know, I've been so bogged down. I don't know if y'all have had an opportunity to go to shop underatexassky.com. That is my new shopping page. It's my store. And of course it has my Dixie Belle paints and everything, but it also has clothing and games and home office stuff, anything that you could need while you're at home on quarantine, puzzles, paint by numbers. There's all kinds of stuff there. So you want to be sure and check out shop underatexassky.com. I've been so busy with that, and I hadn't done anything creatively or fun, and I just thought, I've got to do something creative. And I remembered that I had purchased these and decided to try them. I'd never tried them before. I also have the chalk paste that they carry, and I didn't really know what to do with this. And so I got on YouTube and I looked at a couple of tutorials and found that it is really cool. I did this yesterday when I did my video that I lost because I'm so not technological. This is the little thing I did yesterday, and this was using the chalk paste, which is really cool. Well, so I just painted the other side of this disc. We're going to do it again so you can see how I did it. And then when you're doing this, the cool things about these waxes is they're brilliant. They are they've got this sheen to it. They're a lot like Dixie Belle's gilding wax. You know, we've got gilding waxes that are fantastic also. They also come in these little pots of wax, but they are reformulating our gilding wax. And when the current supply of the gilding waxes that are out there are gone, there won't be any more in this iteration. They are doing something. I think they're changing packaging and changing the formula, so they're not going to be available for a while. But these things are really cool, and I want to go ahead and just get down to it. What I've done, I'm going to move my camera down. This much I can do. There we go, because I want you to really be able to see what I'm doing. This is like magic, I promise. It's just like magic. So just a wood plaque. These are some plaques I had left over from the class that I did. And a mold. You know that I carry the redesigned molds, which are fantastic. Let me grab one so you can see it. Hold on. They're so fun and easy to deal with. I just love them, and you can do so many things with them. Here's an example of one of the molds. This is a newer one, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember what the name of the mold is. But it's got magnolias, this little magnolia bloom, and I use amazing resin to make these molds. And the amazing resin is just that two-part process. There's one yellow and one clear, equal parts. Pour it into another container, mix it up, pour it in your mold, and then in 10 minutes you pop them out, and you've got these great molds, and they just come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. The new ones just came out. I just bought, let's see, my chair is rolling me away, sorry. I just bought these, Butterfly in Flight. You can see the different butterflies, because butterflies are always cute. Put them on a plaque and stuff like that. That's fun. I mean, this really is fun. Your kids can do this. It's a good time. But what I ended up doing is the Etruscan rose mold includes this really big mold here, this big giant rose, and then some smaller roses, which I believe this is one of the smaller roses. And so what I ended up doing is I painted the plaque and the rose black. You know, and you really can't see any detail or anything like that. It's just like magic what happens. Now on Prima, on their tutorials, they suggest using their gesso. They have a black gesso that you can use, but I'm telling you, the paint works just fine as well. And I used Dixie Belle Caviar. That's our darkest, that's our blackest paint. And I just painted a couple of coats on the plaque. I painted a couple of coats on the rose. And then I just glued it down with some E6000. And I did that first. Yesterday I didn't do it and everything kept falling off. And then we need to decide what color we want to start with on the rose. And I think we'll do the rose gold, which is this color. And the top does screw on, and they're a little bit difficult to get open because they're so tiny. It's hard. I mean, if you've got tiny hands, I've got these fat hands, but if you had tiny hands, you could probably open them a little bit easier. But you can see this rose gold, and it's got this really neat sheen to it. And I'm just using my fingers, which my hands are always covered in paint. I'm just using my middle finger. Of course, I have no nails, so it's really easy to dig in here since there are no nails involved. Hi, Dale. Thanks for joining me. And it is beautiful. It's so, so pretty. So I'm just getting this on the tip of my finger. And then you're about to see something magical happen. I'm going to just start rubbing it on this rose. And I'm just going to keep dipping and rubbing on this rose all the way around. And it gives it sort of a metallic look. And then your darkest areas are in your crevices, which that gives you depth. You know, you've got this, oh my God, this is beautiful. You've got this nice depth. I mean, and I'm telling you, there's nothing to this. It is the easiest. This is just, you know, easy crafting right here, which I love. I like something that's easy, and I like something that is instant gratification, which that's what this really is. Man, this is pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Of course, there are edges of this mold, and you know, you'll want to, you know, get around those edges. Of course, for what I'm doing here, I'm just, I'm going fast. You know, you'll take your time and, you know, be a little bit more careful. But even still, I'm flying through this. Look at this, y'all. It is beautiful. I mean, this is just, I don't even know. I mean, it looks, you know, this is not taking any special ability. I don't have any kind of art ability at all. And it's still, that's what's so awesome about this. You don't have to be particularly extraordinarily talented to create something. Golly, look at that. I mean, is that not absolutely gorgeous? And then if you want to, you can go ahead and go in and add, and if you want to add another color, and there are tons of colors. Now, I do not have these in my physical store right now in Hubbard. Of course, it wouldn't matter anyway because we're still forced to be closed. And I don't even have them on shop_underatexassky.com yet. But if you're interested in these, message me go to my Facebook, Under a Texas Sky Facebook page, and you can private message me there. And that page is just Under a Texas Sky. When you log, when you're in your Facebook account, just search Under a Texas Sky and you'll find me. Just, private message me, let me know what you want. I can get them for you and ship them to you. This doesn't mean you have to live in Texas. You don't have to be in Hubbard. You don't have to be anywhere around here. I can get them to you. It'll just take a couple of weeks because I'll have to get them from Redesign first. And you can go to the Prima marketing website and you can look at all of the colors that they have. Now, they don't sell to the public, but I can get them to you. So you can look on there and search colors of waxes or anything else that you want, then let me know. And I can get them ordered for you. We'll have a process where you can pay for them. I'll order them and then I'll ship them to you. Easy peasy, not any problem at all. I've got some of this gold on my finger. And so if I wanted to add a little bit of gold to this, which, wow, so pretty. Hope everybody's doing okay. I know that I'm just about to my limit on this lockdown thing that's going on. I gotta be able to start living my life a little bit, I think. I miss Mexican food restaurants with bottomless bowls of chips and margaritas and all of the things that go with that. You see, I'm still just rubbing this in. Just in random places. I'm not necessarily fully covering it. God, this is amazingly beautiful. Just absolutely stunningly beautiful. I mean, that was just adding, and there's some, pinker colors if you wanted to give it more realistic. Yes, Dale, I will put the link up for Prima Marketing. I absolutely will. So you can go in there and I'll put my Facebook link on here too. And it really even looks like you can see where the rose gold is mixed against the real gold. The rose gold looks much pinker than it did at first, and which is a really cool look. Now, this isn't the only thing you can do. You can actually, if you were doing this on a piece of furniture, and this particular, and I've not been careful. I've gotten the wax all over this thing because I've not been careful. But if you've got furniture with grooves, in it, and this is just a rough plaque. I mean, this was just a cheap plaque, and so where they cut against the grain, it's very rough. I did not sand it or anything. I just painted it. But you can take, this is a stencil brush. I used it yesterday and I did not clean it out, but it's wax, so it should be okay. If I wanted to take, let's say this turquoise, which is really fabulous. The way it does not rub off. What happens is when, once this, gets into the paint, it sort of absorbs into the paint, and you can see here, I'm rubbing and it's really not coming off. And once it dries, it's solid. It's not going anywhere. I mean, it will not rub off because I did not put any kind of clear wax under it. Now, if I was doing this on furniture, let's say, I would probably take some easy peasy spray wax and I would spray where I'm going to put the decorative wax, so I have the ability to wipe it away. It's really difficult to wipe off because the paint, this is chalk mineral paint. So when the wax gets on it, it soaks in and it makes it really difficult to wipe it away if you make a mistake. And so if you put some clear wax down first and then do your darker wax, then you have more of an opportunity with a baby wipe or whatever to be able to wipe it away. But I don't care about that for this. In this instance, I want it to go ahead and go on the paint just like it is. Like I said, because this isn't a sort of permanent thing that we're doing here, so I'm not terribly worried about that. Let me take this green and get that open and show you. And you can see the green. That's a nice green. And like I said, I've used this brush and used this brush. So, and when you're doing this, don't cross-contaminate. Don't dip in one color and then dip in another color, because you'll contaminate. And here I'm just kind of pressing it in to the this brush. And then I'm going to go down the edge of this plaque and deposit this wax here. That's pretty. You see how that's really pretty. And then of course now, like I said, this is a rough plaque. So if I come here on the edges, it's really rough. It's not a smooth look there, but it's okay. Like I said, I mean, I'm just showing you what you can do. And then if I wanted to mix the rose gold, I could sort of blend those two. And you can rub this in with a cloth, you know, and there are wax brushes. There are specific wax brushes that handle, you know, applying wax to paint really nicely. That's so pretty. Golly, is that pretty? There we go. You know, if I wanted to dig in around this rose. And like I said, once you have the whole gamut of colors, you can blend and mix any way that you want. But I mean, you can see how very pretty that is. And it's great for accenting furniture. It really is. When you're doing a piece of furniture, it just gives real visual interest. And I'll show you again. Let's see what else I've got here. This, do we do the blue, the turquoise? This is called turquoise, but it doesn't really look very turquoise. It's much more blue. You see how blue that is. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. I'm going to go ahead and dip my finger in this, and we're going to do it on this little magnolia leaf right here. God, beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. And it's fun. I'm telling you, it's like magic. I just absolutely love how cool it is and how fun it is. And I've seen people do this if you're a scrapbooker or whatever. I've seen people do this on, you know, scrapbook pages, on Kleenex boxes, you know, on the paper mache boxes that you can buy. It's just such, oh God. I mean, if you like this kind of stuff, I mean, you can make it look so pretty and romantic and, I mean, just beautiful. Look at how that looks in the light. It's absolutely stunning. So I hope that this is something. See, I could even put this on my finger if I wanted to. Rub it on the side with my finger. You know, just be sure your project is sanded down really good. You don't want to get a splinter. But yeah. It's just really easy, and it just adds this little level of depth and beauty that is really cool. I mean, you can make a really cute little plaque. Now, I do have these plaques also. I've got them at the store if anyone's interested. And you really do need to let this dry. And wax is a sealer in of itself. A lot of times people will use regular, you know, clear wax or whatever to seal their furniture pieces, whatever, you know, and they paint it in, like I said, this is a chalk mineral paint, and so it's an absorbent type of a paint, and so, you know, I've seen a lot of people who have, a lot of people use wax to seal and not a clear coat. I tend to use a clear coat. Yeah, well, I'm going to show you in just a second a little bit different, and you know, that's it. While I'm going to show you the way I'm going to use this with a stencil, I'll go ahead and I don't know how this will work. I mean, I've not done it with a light color, but let me go ahead and paint another mold with a light color. Let me grab, sorry y'all, need to grab a brush. We'll just see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and paint this. Of course, this is a mold that I have had for a while. I'm sorry the light is so bright, it's kind of washing it out, but I'll hold it up so you can see. This is a mold I've had for a while, so it's got all kinds of, I don't know, dots of paint. And I make these molds up. Sometimes if I'm at the store and I've got extra time, I'll just make the molds up and put them in a baggie. That's the great thing about these. I mean, and that's what I like about the amazing resin. A lot of people use like paper clay, or there's a clay, Prima Marketing makes a clay specifically for their molds, and it works fine, but they're very fragile. And so I don't use it. I just use the amazing resin. And another cool thing about the molds that are done with amazing resin is that if you're using them on a curved surface, you know, if you're putting them on a table leg and you need it to curve around or whatever, you can heat these up with a heat gun and they become pliable, and they're very pliable. They won't break. You can bend them around surfaces, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to do. Okay, I basically got this painted. It's, you know, I didn't do just a super duper job with it, but it's basically painted. And while I'm showing you this other thing with the waxes that you can do, this will be drying, and when I get back to it, it should be dry, because the Dixie Belle paint dries really fast. It's amazing. If you've never tried Dixie Belle paint, you don't know what you're missing. It is such good quality, such good coverage, and you really you cannot beat it. And price point's a great price point too. And this color that I've used on this plaque and that I just painted on that flower is buttercream. So it's pretty light, it's pretty white, but it's got a sort of a yellow undertone. So, okay, I'm gonna move this over here, and this is just a disc that I got. I got it from Sinopoly. This was in our welcome package when we went to the Dixie Belle conference a couple weeks ago. And I thought, okay, this will be good. And then I'm just wiping my hands off with a baby wipe, and it does wipe off, you know, really well. Okay. So I don't want to, you know, have a lot of different colors going on here. So, and then I just have this, just this stencil. This is like a 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter stencil. You know, I hate stencils. I'll be honest with you. I don't use stencils very often because I'm not good at it. I'm just not very good at it. You know, I have a heavier hand, and I get paint underneath the stencil every time unless it's an adhesive stencil. And so it doesn't work for me. But this, when you do it this way, I don't know why I'm being so careful with this. I'm just showing you an example. Let's go with the turquoise today. I'm digging this turquoise. And again, I'm just gonna dip it on my finger. And I'm hoping that y'all will be able to see what I'm doing here. I'm just got it on my finger, and I'm just gonna start rubbing it into the stencil. Just filling in all of these gaps. You could probably do this with a brush, but then again, I'm afraid that, probably because I just am not the stencil queen, I would hesitate to do that, but I'm sure that you could do it with a brush. And just make sure, because it is light, you can see any areas that you might miss. And it's interesting, it goes on, it looks gold. It's got the blue edging where the stencil edge is, and it looks gold on the inside. But what I found yesterday, I did this with the green. What's the color? What does it say? Lucky's Emerald? Lucky Emerald. It did the same thing, but when you put it in the light, inside that shimmer that did not look green, it looked more of a sort of a tan color. It was green. You could really tell in the light it shimmered. The green shimmered in the light. And I'm expecting this to do it too. Come on and get in that M. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. And just work it until it gets in there. And I've got my fingers crossed that it's not going to go all underneath the stencil. I mean, there's just nothing to it. It's super easy. Now, if you were doing this as an actual project, you would want to make sure that the areas of whatever it is you're working on are protected in case you get crazy and go off of the stencil. You don't want it to ruin the look of your piece because you've gotten the wax in a place that you did not want it. So you do just have to be aware of that. Painter's tape. I always use the frog yellow tape. It's the gentlest on freshly painted surfaces. I rarely have any occasions where it pulls the tape off. I mean, excuse me, the paint off. I'm not going to say that's never happened, but it's rarer that happens. Okay, I'm going to kind of go in circles here. I want to get these last little bits. Okay, everywhere I see the light color, I want to be sure and fill it in. Okay, that's pretty close. So for the purposes of what we're doing, to be able to show you, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up so you can see how it turned out. And that's pretty good. And I did get a little bit in between, and that could be because it was on the back side. I did not clean that stencil after I used it, which, you know, that's not a good thing either. But you can see how pretty that is. It's got that hint of blue. I mean, it's almost iridescent. When you turn it at certain angles, you can really see the blue that is in there, and which is really cool. Now, we also have this chalk paste. And I know that there are other companies that do the silkscreen stencils where you rub the chalk paste over it and pull them off, which is great. But, you know, you don't always have that kind of stencil, or you have to buy that brand of thing. And so Prima Redesign has these chalk paste, and these are really inexpensive. I think that this is $8 for this whole tub, and that is a ton of paste. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this back on here, and I'm going to show you how you can use the chalk paste. See if I can line this back up. Come on, Kel. There we go. So I've got that lined back up, and I'm going to show you how you can use the chalk paste. So Dale, I should use Pixie spray. Is Pixie spray some kind of an adhesive, or is it just a spray color? I've never heard of that. Then again, like I said, I don't generally mess with stencils just because, I mean, I've seen people use them and oh my God, they're beautiful. Now Prima also has a product called Stick and Style, and they are adhesive stencils that can be used over and over again. You know, up to 10 to 12 times. You know, eventually, it is made out of some sort of paper. Eventually it breaks down. But I've used that a lot on things because it's an adhesive, and you cannot get under the stencil because the whole stencil sticks down. But it's not stencils like these. They're designs. You know, they're flowers or abstract sort of designs. So I'm just scraping this chalk paste off of the little protective lid that's in there. And I'm going to show you how easy, I hope y'all can see, reusable adhesive. That's good to know. I definitely will check into that for sure. Okay, and here I'm just smushing this chalk paste into all of the openings. Of course, I've got this other that I did, you know, I would probably not mix these mediums if I were going to be doing this for real. But, you know, if you've got your stencil stuck down really well, that won't be a problem either. And I'm just scraping and gathering that, the paste, you know, what's left of the paste. Let's see if I can get in here. There's a little line at the bottom. I shouldn't be too concerned about it because I'm just showing y'all as an example of how this is used. Super easy, I'm telling you. Okay, everything is covered. Let's scrape whatever's left back in there. I'm gonna put the lid on it. And now this is gonna give you more of a textured stencil. So when we lift this up, boom! That's really cool. Look at that. Now I did, on that one line, I did get under it a little bit, but like I said, y'all saw what I was doing. I wasn't being careful particularly. But that is the way, I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, I guarantee you it's better than I ever could have done with the paintbrush. Now, like I said, y'all may be really good at it. And if that's the case, then hey, you know, more power to you and congratulations on being so good. Here's the one that I did yesterday. It's the exact same thing. And I was worried about how you would seal this. I didn't know if you would just need to maybe spray it with something to seal it. I didn't know if that chalk would, you know, how it would hold up. I mean, it's good and dry. Of course, you know, it's been 24 hours since I did it. I mean, I might be inclined to use, let's see, the Dixie Belle. Let me see if I've got a cloth to wipe this down. Yeah, I do right there. Dixie Belle Stick and Style. I mean, excuse me, Dixie Belle Easy Peasy Spray Wax to seal this. I just spray it and then rub it in. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It did not reactivate or anything like that. I'm messing up the one that's on this side. My fingers are all in the paint. But yeah, I mean, that would actually seal it, and then you're good to go. Absolutely good to go. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's how amazing and wonderful now the chalk paste comes in colors. There's a variety of colors. These happen to be Roycroft Rose, and then I also have Sand, and this one's just, you can see the color, it's just kind of a tannish yellow color, but they come already tinted. And so I mean, I'm in love with this stuff. Like I said, I hadn't used it before, but you know, anytime I see products, I always try to grab them and try them and play with them, and it's a good time. It's a good time doing that. Let's see if there's any colors that I didn't use. It looks like this Opal Magic is just an iridescent. Oh, I was going to put it on this on the lighter color. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you need that darker color underneath. Let's just let's take the rose gold. Like I said, I just bought a handful of these. Let's see. Let's see here. Of course, my fingers got all kinds of stuff on it, but let's see what happens. It is oh, it's still pretty. It's definitely a totally different look. Let's see. It's still gorgeous. but a totally different sort of look. And of course, it just brings out your details. You know, that's the cool thing about it. Every groove, every edge, it just brings all of those out that you would not see. I think you'd have difficulty even seeing it if you were using paint, you know, painting them completely, which I don't usually paint them for realism, which you could. You know, if you're a good artist and you can, you know, do all your shadowing and everything, you could absolutely do that. Okay. Get in here. Did I do... Let me, oh, I didn't have one of those to paint. I wanted to do kind of apples to apples, but I couldn't do that because I didn't do the exact same flower with the black. And, you know, when you're doing these, be sure, you know, and do your edges, because that will definitely stand out as having not been done. Okay. I'm just about done. Okay, that's with the rose gold. Let me throw, and let's do just like what we did with the other one. Let me throw some gold in here too. I mean, and I guess I could, now if I used a brush, since I did not really allow that paint to dry really well, I could probably, you know, if I used a brush, I could probably take the paint off accidentally. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I'll try. I'll use a brush in just a second and we'll see what happens if I used a brush. See, it's a little bit different feeling. To me, it's not, and it's personal preference. What I like about the dark paint, and you could use any kind of dark paint. You don't necessarily have to use black. You know, you could use a dark brown, a chocolate, or, you know, or dark gray. A dark gray would probably be pretty cool also. But I mean, this is pretty, but you just don't get the same kind of drama that you got with the dark background. I mean, just, you know, just for instance, let's use this green, even though the rose isn't green, because I haven't used the green yet. On this one of the other roses that I had done. Oh, I mean, to me, it just pops so much out of the colors are so different that it really does just pop. See how gorgeous that is. I mean, it just, I mean, and there was just nothing to it. It was just simple. And so, you know, like I said, it just depends. Let me see if, I'm just going to grab, I've got that turquoise on here. I'm just going to go ahead and see what would happen if you tried to work. Actually, I'm going to grab some of that gold. If you try to work some of it in to those crevices a little bit more with the brush, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm likely to take the paint off doing this since I haven't let the paint dry. Just trying to work it into those crevices. Yeah, I really, honestly, for my taste, I prefer it against a dark color, just to allow it to really pop. The contrast just really pops that way. Okay, yeah, I think, you know, if you're comparing, I know it's kind of, you know, not apples to apples necessarily, but I like the darker color better a little bit. But anyway, that's it. That is all there is to it. It is such an easy product to use, which I love that. I like a product that doesn't take just a whole ton of skill to be able to use. And like I said, because there are so many colors, you're only limited by your imagination. Again, these are Redesign Art Alchemy. This is their Antique Brilliance is one of the lines. Metallique, I guess it's like metallic, is another one of the lines. let's see, Antique Brilliance is another one of the lines. They're all very similar. You know, they're all just, you know, kind of blingy colors that you can add. And Opal Magic. And this one is just an iridescent. It's just a straight, I don't even know. Let me see what this would look like if I put it on. I've got another mold here. Ooh, that's pretty. That's really, oh my gosh. And this is kind of a chrysanthemum, so it's not a lot of flat surface to be able to get the wax in, so it's just mostly hitting highlights. But, wowzer. Okay. Super pretty. I mean, that is gorgeous. And this is the Opal Magic, and this color is Royal Rose. So I used the Mystic Turquoise, the Lucky Emerald, Rose Gold, and Vintage Gold. Those are the colors that I showed y'all. And then in the chalk paste, I showed you the Roycroft Rose and Sand. Actually, I didn't show you the sand, but those are the colors that I have. And then I used the turquoise on the bottom. And then on this side, I used the green on the bottom. And you can see how pretty that is. But that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. Head over to shopunderaTexasSky.com. I'm going to put some links here when we're done. And then I promise I'm not going to accidentally delete this one like I did the YouTube one that I did yesterday, like a nut. Oh, here's the other thing that we did, so you can see different colors. You know, you can blend them together. You know, I could cover this whole area and blend some things together. I just love this stuff so much, and it's fun. I mean, I got excited about it. It's hard for me to get excited about much anymore because, you know, we use the same products over and over for different things. But I really got excited about this yesterday when I really got into it and tried it, and it's just a lot of fun. So go over to shopunderaTexasSky.com on Facebook. Be sure and follow me there, and you can private message me there if you're wanting to order something, and it's not on my shop under a Texas Sky. I'm going to go ahead and start adding these things to that. Normally I have to have stuff in stock there, but I'm just going to try to let y'all know your turnaround time's not going to be really fast. You're not going to order it and get it in a week. You're going to order it and probably get it in 2 weeks because I'm going to have to get it first. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'll load up Shop Under a Texas Sky, and there'll be a link at the top that says redesign. And, you know, you'll be able to go in there and order the things that you want. And like I said, turnaround time is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to have to get the product and then reship because they do not drop ship. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm so glad that you joined me, and I hope that that everyone is well in your lives, and that you're all handling this shutdown. It looks like we're going to be shut down for another couple of weeks at least. So at least this, if you had some of these products, you would definitely have something to do. And your kids, like I said, your kids would probably love to do this too. If you've got any questions, be sure and ask them. And you can always message me, like I said, on Facebook. You can message me in the comments here if you want to. I answer all the comments. But I look forward to seeing y'all again really soon. And I hope that you're blessed and healthy and everything is going your way. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to try to figure out how to turn this off now because I'm just not sure how to do that. Okay, this is borderline embarrassing. Bye, Dale. Thank you so much. What if I just hit the X? I'm gonna try it. Love y'all.